Hey, I'm Cedric Hawkins. Welcome to the CedTalks Podcast. My guest today is the president of her own dental office right here in Huntingtown, Maryland. She's a very driven individual, and I'm proud to showcase her drive on the show today, and hopefully you learned something from her. So right now, here is Dr. Marsha Plater. Dr. Plater, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cedric.
Yes, thank you for agreeing to do this. I know you're very busy, so I'm very happy to have the time to talk with you.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right off the bat, how has life been treating you? You know, we're still in the middle of the pandemic, but despite that, you're still running your office. How's life been treating you?
Well, I'm happy to be back to work full time. We were closed a year ago from March to the middle of June, and it impacted us financially and I think also mentally, because the minute I got back in my chair to work, I felt like this is what I'm meant to do. I felt like I'm in the place I belong. We were able to see emergency patients, but for me that meant initially just telemedicine, teledentistry over the phone, iPhone, messenger, looking at a swollen face, then figuring out, am I looking at the left side or the right side? And then calling in medications. And that was hard because, you know, you're not hands-on. You can't treat a patient the way you were trained to treat them. So I'm glad to be back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Treating our patients who are now mostly vaccinated.
Right.
So we feel more comfortable.
When you heard the rumblings of everything going on the news, did you believe it that much, or did you not really take it as face value?
Well, I believed it because I'm used to looking at the television and seeing China when they had the SARS and people wearing masks every day, everywhere, in the streets, constantly. I didn't know the impact of it. I had no idea that friends and acquaintances and patients or people we know would die so rapidly. But yeah, I believe in medicine and science, so yes.
Yeah, I didn't watch the news as much. I still don't watch the news as much, so I didn't really hear stuff until probably end of February, early March of last year. And then once you hear that it's coming into the States, you hope that it doesn't hit us right here and we don't have to shut down. But unfortunately, we all suffered because of it.
Yes.
Yeah. What are some of the things that really kept you encouraged and kept you going when you were in lockdown in your house?
Well, this is what I was doing emails to my staff, and I said, try to help someone else, because that will take you out of yourself, thinking of yourself only and being depressed. One of the local policemen needed some masks, and at that time they didn't have them, and I was fortunate enough to have some to share with them. So they're up close and personal, and we were in lockdown, so I was happy to volunteer and donate those, and just try to think of ways you can help other people. And of course, people got busy working on their houses and their lawns. So I think there were some positive aspects of the pandemic. Families started eating together, being together for work. And even though we were used to it, I mean, that's the way it was supposed to be. And that's the way it was for my parents' generation. Everybody ate together at the same time. Everybody was home in the same space.
Right. I'm glad you touched on that earlier with saying that helping other people can get you out of that dark headspace, because that's why I started the podcast back in April of last year. Just a way to talk to people and talk to my friends again, ask questions that I've always wanted to ask, but from a professional point of view, just because when you're locked inside and everyone's still trying to handle their lives, they're all busy and you can't really see them like you wanted to. So getting the chance to talk with them for at least 45 minutes to an hour and learning more stuff about them, that's what kept me going, and that's how the podcast just grew.
I'm very proud of you.
Yeah,
for doing
thank you.
That. That's excellent.
Thank you. And now here I am talking with you about it.
We had our family, I have 5 siblings, decided to do Zoom every night to look out for each other and share news. And some of my siblings are not going into work, so they have the television on all day long while they're working, so they knew what was happening and could share it in real time. One sister on the West Coast, Marsha Plater, is a reporter, so in California, the information got to them very quickly, and they started shutting down immediately, and it seemed like Maryland, Governor Hogan followed their governor's shutdown regulations, and so we were proud of our governor when he started implementing the first night, be home by 8 o'clock, get off the roads, So, we followed his information, his regulations, so that we would try to contain it. I don't know that it worked, but, we tried.
Yeah, he definitely handled it well, especially in the state of Maryland, because if you compare our state to, let's say, Texas or Florida or California and New York, their numbers were rising, and they still continue to rise to this day. And I believe that's a reflection of the governors and how they view it. I believe you should lead by example and do the right thing. Truly trust science and what they're telling you about the virus. And then from there, you follow along. If the numbers, if they look great and they're down, then we can proceed and, try to open stuff back up again. But if they go back down, then it's the best option than to close down again. Unfortunately, I wish life was the way it was in February and early March of 2020, but I don't know if we'll ever get that back.
I wonder myself. I kind of doubt it.
Yeah. If you had the option, would you have rather been essential, keeping your office open, or would it have been smart for you to just close down if you had that option?
So I think it was the right decision just to treat emergency patients until we knew more about it. And I could have opened earlier, but I didn't have the state's requirements of 2 weeks of PPE for my staff.
Mm-hmm.
The priority was medicine and hospitals. They were able to get the N95 masks, the disposable gowns, and the gloves. Our gloves went from $5 a box for 100 to $15 a box for 100. The price is still going up. They're warning us that it may be $18 a box.
Wow.
We couldn't get the disposable gowns. I even looked on Amazon, so I could get a pack of 10 for maybe $20, but the shipping was $200. Now, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
So we could have opened earlier if we had the equipment, but we did not.
Right. Understandable. But I think you made the right decision too. And now you're back in business. How has that been? Has business been great since you've opened back up?
It's sort of feast or famine. So in the beginning, our older patients would not come out. The seniors, for the most part, just said, I'm staying home. It's safer. I'm not in pain. They will come if a crown comes off or they break a tooth. Because when you're at home, you're doing a lot more eating at home. And you have a tendency to bite on an almond and crack a tooth, need to come in for something like that. The students are beginning to come back now. They use their asynchronous learning days or their virtual days. So the moms are getting them in for their cleanings, and that's great. We noticed our patients have gained weight because they're home eating. When you're home, you're in the refrigerator.
Right,
It's no question. And if you're watching TV or a computer, they're probably the commercials that, show you the food. So, yeah, we're doing better. But then there's some days when it's not as busy as we would like it. So we always welcome new patients.
Right, of course. Got you. Yeah, I was definitely glad to come back here. I think it had been a while since I had been back, and I was like, I need to get back in here. I believe I called your office in June. Couldn't come back till the end of August. I was like, wow.
Oh, man.
But that was because of COVID, so I had no choice.
Yes.
But nonetheless, I'm glad I came back, though. I like this
people
office.
love getting their teeth clean. Well, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Happy to have you.
What made you decide to get into the dental industry?
I worked for a dentist in 12th grade. I went to Tacoma Academy in Tacoma Park, a Seventh-day Adventist school, and we were out early, and I had to pay my tuition, which back in the day was $95 a month.
If only.
Yeah, it's about $1,500 a month now at that school. So my friend said, my uncle needs a dental receptionist. So I had a car. I drove over to Silver Spring and interviewed, and he needed someone to answer the phones, clean the office, and assist him. So it was like a Girl Friday. And he said to me, you're really good at this. You have a nice chairside manner, and you don't faint at the sight of blood. Because a lot of girls I've hired, that's happened. So he said, you should become a dental hygienist. And I said, nah, this looks so easy what you do. I would become a dentist. That's what I said to him. Now, mind you, I had not taken physics. I had not done the prerequisites for college to go into dentistry. But I said that, and then I graduated, and my yearbook says that I wanted to become a social worker. That was my plan. And then I went to college undecided my first year. And all of my girlfriends were doing medicine or nursing. And I thought, well, they're not smarter than I am. Maybe I will consider dentistry. And so after my first year of college, I did decide to do the dental prerequisites.
Wow, that's incredible. Did you ever have a fear of a dentist as a kid?
I did. Well, we didn't have dental insurance as kids, so we only went to get a tooth pulled.
Right.
And at one point, my dad worked in the union. He was a construction worker. And we went to a dentist in D.C., and he took an x-ray. He said, put this in your mouth. So he put something in my mouth, and he left the room. So I turned my head to see where he was going. He said, I told you to sit still. And I'm like, no, you didn't. I was thinking, but, he was mean and gruff. So, yeah, I did.
Yeah, got you. I always had a fear of the dentist. That's why I love being put under or being numb. That's what I was thinking of. Oh. I love that because I freak out. I think I was about 8. I don't know. And they did work on like the roof of my mouth. And I remember afterwards just feeling in all this pain. And my dad dropped me back off at school. And I'm crying. I'm bleeding. I'm in so much pain. And I think I stayed home for like 3 days after that. Because I was in so much pain. So it's like every time I'm in the chair, I'm just like freaking out. I'm so tense.
That was a traumatic experience for an 8-year-old.
It was, and I don't remember what the surgery was. Like, sometimes I'll Google it, and it's not the same what I think of, but I remember them doing work on the roof of my mouth, and whenever I swallowed, it would just hurt because my tongue, for some reason, would touch the roof of it.
Oh.
So I'm not sure. That's why I'm glad my wisdom tooth surgery went really well.
Oh, good.
Yeah, they put me under for that. I don't remember anything.
So did your friends or family video you talking out of your head?
No, so I think I had the option where I didn't get the laughing gas, so I think they just sedated me and I went to sleep. I was just really groggy afterwards. And like the first memory I have coming back is I tried pulling the gauze out, and of course there's blood, and I'm in the kitchen, and Mom's like, what are you doing? I told you not to do that in the kitchen. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Like I was just out of it.
That's funny.
Like I told my cousin, take me to Smoothie King. He got me this really large smoothie, and I'm like, I can't finish this all in one day. Like it's just impossible. I didn't finish it.
But that was thoughtful of him.
It was thoughtful of him because he told me he wouldn't take me there after the surgery, but he took me there regardless.
Oh,
yeah,
that's nice. Keep that cousin.
Exactly, I will, of course. When you think of your early childhood memories, what are some good memories that comes to mind?
Well, we grew up with the 4 of us initially, and then later my parents had twins. So that was nice. I was 10 when they were born, so I got to babysit them. That was fun. We would make something in our yard. We made some kind of dangerous journey, and we charged 5 cents to our neighbors to go through the journey. It was like a park, amusement park in our backyard. I remember trying to ride a bike and then trying to teach my sister to ride a bike. And as I carried her along, I couldn't control the bike, and she fell off, and I felt bad. And she constantly reminds me that when she was born, I said to my mom, I'm having a birthday. Where's my birthday gift? And my mother was in the hospital, and she said, I already bought you guys a swing set. I said, yes, you got that for the whole family, but not for me. Where's my present? She said, well, I'm bringing you home a baby. And so I thought my little sister was mine, and I carried her around everywhere like a doll. And I did drop her because she was 9 pounds something when she was born. And so she always says, yeah, you threw me down. So
that's funny.
Yeah, I'll never outlive that.
Right, of course. Do you and your siblings still have that close relationship today?
Yes, so we still Zoom. So the one works in D.C. She's a twin to my brother who also works in D.C. They're both accountants. Funny how, twins are the same.
Yeah.
So we cut back our Zoom from every night to 3 nights a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then we try to get together on weekends when we can. We feel safe, around each other. Everybody's vaccinated now pretty much. So, yeah, we're very close.
Right, that's good. I hope that's the same way for me and my cousins. I'm sure they're listening to it now when they get the chance to, but I still hope we maintain that close bond that we have because I'm sure you know how life gets. Everybody kind of disperses and does their own thing, but I do think communication is important to just keep that bond strengthened.
Do you have siblings?
I have one brother. He's I'm older than him by 5 years, so I know we'll always be close.
Yes.
Nice. But yeah, it's mainly my cousins who I hang with. Those are pretty much my friends.
Very nice.
Yeah, exactly. When you were in college, what were some of the difficulties or challenges that you had as a student, given the fact that you are a doctor?
Anatomy, Physics. Physics was really hard because I didn't have it in high school. And I'm a Seventh-day Adventist, and I switched from the Seventh-day Adventist University, Andrews University, to University of Maryland because they had the dental school, and I thought that would improve my chances of being accepted. And the physics exam was offered on Saturday, and I said, I can't take it on Saturday. I'm Adventist. And he said, well, you must. So I had to go to the department chair, and they said, no, we'll make exceptions for your religion, and they let me take it on a Friday, instead of a Saturday. I think back in the day, it was zoology was your major for pre-medicine or pre-dentistry, so it's more about animals than humans. Mm-hmm. And when I switched from a small church school to a large campus, there were a lot of students in the room, a big lecture hall, and then teaching assistants who actually did the work. So this was what I was used to. When I came into a classroom, the teacher would have prayer. So when I was at the University of Maryland, I was like, the teacher comes in, my brain is thinking they're going to have prayer, but of course they don't. So it was a big social adjustment. Mm-hmm. And I commuted from Calvert County to College Park. So one night I wanted to stay over, and a classmate invited me to stay in the dorm so that we could study for the math test. It was calculus, my first time using a computer. And she used a bong, and I just wasn't used to that. So it was like culture shock,
Yeah.
So that was different for me.
Have you always grown up here in Maryland?
Yes, I grew up here, and I went for my first work experience in New York. So I was there for 4 years.
Got you.
Otherwise, I was in Maryland.
Wow, nice. How was that experience going to New York? Did you adjust well to everything?
It was amazing. It was amazing because I took a train ride and met someone, and that person gave me like a heads up of what to expect on my interview. Mm-hmm. I had interviewed all over the East Coast. When I got accepted into dental school, I received a scholarship for 4 years. Those 4 years was a commitment for me to work wherever the government sent me. They sent me to Pennsylvania to interview, and the University of Maryland dentist had finished his 4-year assignment, and he said, you're not going to be chosen here because these people don't accept people who are different. He said, my wife and I adopted a Chinese baby. They don't accept the baby. You're black, you're a woman, you're not going to get the job. I'm like, okay, no problem. They don't want me, I don't want them. Mm-hmm. So I left. I interviewed in West Virginia. I was like praying, oh God, please don't let me get this job, because one place had a dentist who was leaving. She said, get yourself some dogs. It's so lonely out here. UPS only comes once a week to pick up the dentures. And I'm thinking, I don't like dogs. I don't want to live out here by myself. So I didn't get that job. I was happy. So when they placed me in New York, it was Mount Vernon, which was a bustling community center on the south side of the tracks. There were the Italians and the blacks. Mm-hmm. And I was able to get a house in walking distance to Mount Vernon. And I worked there 4 years. I learned a lot, and I learned to love the people, and they accepted me very well.
Wow, that's wonderful.
It was a long story about how I even got to live where I did. But
yeah, that's wonderful. When you think of all the lessons that you've had as a dentist, what are some of the things that you teach your mentors or people who start here at your business?
Oh, I encourage them. I have a gentleman who is in school to become a dental assistant. And he has gone through a couple of professions already. And I'm trying to encourage him to think about dentistry or maybe oral surgery. That's like the top of the line for us. You become a physician and a dentist at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I don't want him to stop learning. And I give him all details on what we're doing and how to do it so that he'll have a good basis. He said he's the only one in his class who's working in the field.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible. Mm-hmm. How many years have you been in the industry?
I graduated in 1983, so can do the math.
Yeah, about 38 years, I think.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, long time. But it's nice to see how you've grown and developed and be able to help others and, run your own business at the same time. Like, I think that's incredible, especially as a black woman here in Calvert County to do something like that. I think that's incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What made you want to get your own business?
Well, I did interview with other doctors when I came here, and one reason I came back home is my uncle said to me, Marsha, it takes weeks to get a tooth drawn at Dr. White. You need to come and work here. So I came to work with Dr. White, and he said that I could become his partner. He was the African-American dentist here, the only one. But later he changed his mind and said, I'm not going to do a partnership. So that's when I decided to go on my own.
Mm-hmm.
I had interviewed with other doctors, but they wanted me to work on Saturday, which I couldn't do. And after a while, when I opened my own business, I would work on Sundays. And that brought a lot of patients in.
Right.
We stopped it after the pandemic because more people were working from home and they were able to come in from their home office and take their appointments and not worry about needing a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how many years have you been established here?
I think 1995,
Mm-hmm.
I incorporated my business.
Got you. Because, I've talked to lots of people about you in the past week saying, yeah, I'm having Dr. Plater on my show. You know her? They're like, yeah, I know Dr. Plater.
Oh.
It's like, everybody knows who you are. So I was like,
good.
yeah, this is perfect. Hopefully this episode blows up.
Oh. Well, we found out that my great-grandfather came to Anne Arundel County as a slave. So Plater's names have been around Maryland for a long time.
Right. Got you. That's incredible. I'm part of the Creeks. I don't know if you know the Creeks, but...
And are you from the southern end?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's my family.
Yes.
That's where I come from.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think, like I said, it's incredible that you have your own business and you've been able to help all the different patients that you have. And, I'm sure you touch a lot of people, different kids and stuff, by your patience and everything. Because even my friends who I've talked to that have been here, they said that you were always gentle with them and whatnot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I try to give a very good needle. That's what people say.
Yeah, even with me, I'm very calm with you. You help keep me calm. Because like I said earlier, I get really anxious in that
I
chair.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very good. We cater to chickens.
Yeah.
We cater to cowards.
Right. Talk to me about motherhood. I know you're a mother to your daughter. How has that changed your life?
Oh, so my life revolves around her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it always has, from going to the library when she was 2 for story hour. That's where you meet people and start play dates. And then taking her to swimming. I meet people there who want to be patients or other dentists I meet there. And then school. School has dictated all of my time, what I'm doing with her. We started here with a preschool, Little Lambs, and then we did a Montessori school. We've tried public school, and now we're doing a Seventh-day Adventist school. That's what we went to, and now public school again, but in Montgomery County. So my life revolves around her. Mm-hmm. And right now, she has school virtually, upstairs in her office, while I'm downstairs working. And I'll just call, Queenie, are you in your class? It's time to get in your class.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're doing your work. And at night, I'm checking her homework, or we're reviewing homework, or we're studying for a test. So, yeah, my social life is her life, really.
Yeah, got you. I definitely understand, that struggle of, get on your meeting. I work at a daycare myself, so sometimes I'll have kids who like to skip their meetings and go on YouTube, or sometimes they're on YouTube and they don't realize they have a meeting, and it's like, get on your meeting, it's 9:30.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a YouTube lover.
Oh, yeah.
She's learned how to become a very good vegan chef from that.
Ooh.
And she's made fishing her passion, and now gardening.
Mm-hmm.
So anything outdoors, she's all about it.
Are you a vegan also?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's nice.
So she does catch and release, but yeah, we're vegan.
Yeah, my mom's a vegan also.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, she changed her diet up a while back, and it's done wonders for her.
We have to share recipes.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking of going vegan, but it's I don't know. I just switched to grilled food recently. Because for Easter, we had fried foods, and I was like, you know what? I'm tired of eating fried foods. I want to eat healthier, eat more grilled and baked food. So the family bought a grill, and they're teaching me how to grill. So
nice.
I'm hoping to change my diet up as well. Yeah, so having your own business, what kind of advice would you give to young entrepreneurs that are looking to establish their own business as well?
I think know how to do all the procedures yourself. So if someone who you've hired is out, you'll be able to handle the computer, know how to take your own x-rays, know how to get into a ledger if a patient asks you something about a charge. And you have to sort of use your gut when you interview someone, because they're not going to always tell you the whole story. And when you ask for references, they're only allowed to give you limited information. So use your knowledge, your everyday common sense when you go to interview someone. And just expect the best of everyone so that they can perform at their best.
Right, absolutely. That definitely makes sense, especially with discernment, because like you said, you can't give as much information out or get that information from somebody. So you could hire them and then they're this completely different person.
Yes. I find that some of my youth, my younger assistants want to stay on their phone, which we don't have time for that.
Right.
You know, there's always something to do in a dental practice.
Yeah.
And I think when you start out, you shouldn't expand too quickly, buying all the latest equipment. I think you could lease some equipment, see if that works for you, and then purchase it, you know, if that really works.
Yeah, that makes sense. If you weren't doing dentistry, if you weren't in this industry, where would you see yourself being at?
Wait, what was the question? So my daughter and I have started camping a lot, so that's one thing that is great for me for weekends. And when I retire, I'm thinking about helping people with their family ancestry. I love searching our history and making scrapbooks to say, show your family line. That's my passion. I love it.
Nice. Well, Dr. Plater, thank you so much again for your time. Hopefully we can do this again sometime again.
I'm just flattered. You're so kind.
Yeah, but thank you again.
Thank you.
All right,
We love having you as a patient.
Oh, thank you. I'm flattered. This wraps up the episode. Stay blessed and stay encouraged.